All right, we're live. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
This is we're really exciting. This is the Rants podcast, and we are here tonight to review Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Alien Covenant, which we just saw a few moments ago, and I can tell there's some thoughts about that movie right off the bat. But let's go ahead, and we got with us Jay's here, of course, as usual. The hood over here that you can't see is Jeff because he does not want to be on the camera, and Trina and Lori are here. Special guest. There were girls here, so of course we had to turn the camera on and prove that we know some. Of course, they're both with you, so mine just ran, so I can't prove shit. But anyway, so we're gonna start with Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I saw it probably just a couple days after it came out, like the opening weekend, and then we hadn't seen each other for like a month and a half or something. We've all been busy. But
Disney. Somebody had to go to Mexico.
well, yeah, I went to Mexico. What's the matter with you? Move my closer to yourself.
I didn't get to go to Mexico.
Well,
that's all that's wrong.
Where were you ziplining?
Well, that was like a couple years ago. I can go back to Mexico.
I didn't want to take you, although next time I might. We'll get more drinking in.
Yeah, we will.
But at any rate, let's go ahead and get to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'll say right off the bat that, without going into too much detail, again, spoilers, because we're going to talk about all kinds of shit. I enjoyed it, not as much as the first one. But we'll get into more detail as the conversation goes around. Jay, what did you think of Guardians?
I laughed my ass off.
At?
I did. It's pure entertainment. It falls right along with Deadpool and the first one. It's just they just make fun of themselves, and we're just gonna have a good time making it. And I had a good time watching it.
Good. Anything specific?
Not yet.
Not yet. He'll get to that later. We're only going to record
I have to remember it was
Yep.
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and let's play the trailer then. This will remind you. Hopefully this won't interfere with the broadcast.
We're watching the trailer. It's like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
It is. It's exactly what it is.
Be here any minute. Is that a rifle?
You don't know what a rifle looks like?
It's just swords were your thing and guns were mine. But I guess we're both doing guns now. I just didn't know that.
Yeah, slow as hell.
That's intense.
Okay. Baby Groot.
He's so cute.
I see it within
I couldn't help but love him. I think that's true for everybody.
jealousy.
I'm looking more forward to Teenage Groot.
Oh, I know. At the end, the
Like-
teaser at the
Well,
end.
and I kind of wanted to see that in this movie, but I'm glad they didn't do it.
I am Groot.
Dude. I'm using my wrong eye. Groot, put your seatbelt on!
What is he eating? Reese's Pieces?
That part was really funny.
So we're saving the galaxy again?
I see Jay as Rocket.
Awesome!
Yes.
We're really gonna be able to jack up our price if we're 2 times.
I guess that makes Earl Groot.
Always.
Hey, Earl, are you on? He said he might be watching. You know, as much as I dig this song, this movie didn't have as many songs for me as the first one did. I recognized them all, but not they weren't. Yeah, it just didn't speak to me as much. Okay, now I'm glad we're watching this because it reminds me of a few things.
Sometimes the thing you're searching for your whole life.
Now, I'll say that Batista, they nailed Batista in this one. The writing for him and his delivery, spot on. I mean, he was funny in the first one, but in this one, I was just dying laughing at him. You're beautiful on the inside.
I know.
Yeah. I feel the same way about Rocket, though. They did much better with Rocket's lines in this one. And I know a lot of it probably centered around Rocket.
He like gagged. He's like,
After all these years, I've found you.
Boy, you know, oh yeah. Might as well start at the beginning, go all the way through.
I'm your dad, Peter.
There's a funny story about Kurt Russell.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, good.
While they were out doing the tour for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, some
Yeah.
guy brought up, do you guys remember the lights over Arizona? Big UFO thing that was massive.
Yeah.
If you can, look it up on YouTube. Well, anyways, he was talking about how the guy who was interviewing Pratt and Kurt Russell was talking about 20,000 people witnessed it, and only one pilot called it in. And he goes, And Kurt Russell's shaking his head, looking at the guy, and he goes, "Well, I can tell you the tail number of that plane."
Yeah.
And he told him the tail number, and he goes, "I was actually that pilot." He's the one guy who called in the suspicious thing, and he said what he was doing is he was flying his son to Arizona so he could go be with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then on approach, his son goes, "What's that?" And he looked up and he said there were 6 lights in a V, and he was staring at him, so he called it in. And air traffic said, "Well, we got nothing." And he goes, "Well, I'm looking at 6 lights right now." And traffic goes, "I got nothing." And he goes, "Then I got to call it."
Yeah.
Called it a UFO. Landed. He said it was like 2 or 3 years later when Goldie Hawn was watching those UFO files.
Oh no!
And he was walking through the room, and he looked over, and he said he just caught the scene where 20,000 people witnessed this, and one pilot called it in. He goes, "Oh, that was me." And he went and grabbed his logbook.
Oh
that He had
no!
written everything in.
I had no
So-
idea he was even a pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either
Yeah.
until this
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing. And Chris
'Cause-
Pratt looks at him like, "Are you shitting me?" I don't know. So that was the Kurt Russell thing that I liked about it. But anyways, when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy,
Well, let's start right at the.
Hang on, he didn't get a chance.
Well, we go ahead. If you got one for the out the gate, go ahead.
I liked Groot.
Well,
I think
Okay,
I think
monosyllabic,
I think
but-
that was one of my favorite opening scenes for something in a while, where Groot's spending his entire time trying to get something together while there's a massive brawl going on in the background. I thought it was great. It was the opening scene was, but the overall movie, yeah, I'll agree with number 1 was better, but this was not too far off.
no, yeah, you're right. It isn't. It wasn't too far. Nothing wrong with the movie.
No,
It
no,
just
no.
slightly like the first one a little better.
I thought it was funnier.
What about you, Trina? You thought
I
this one was
loved it.
funnier?
Yeah, I did.
Any jokes in particular?
Uh,
Dead air,
there's
folks.
so many funny parts.
I gotta tell you, as juvenile as it is, the turd joke, man, that caught me off guard. My turds are epically huge.
Oh, yeah.
Or what do you say, famously huge or
right.
something?
All I know is we were in the theater and we were just laughing.
Oh, yeah, I was crying. I was laughing so hard at that one.
I kind of wanted to watch again tonight just because I knew I would enjoy it, but we decided.
I would definitely watch it again.
Well, the other one gave us a few things to talk about,
Yeah.
so we'll get to that here in a minute. Have you seen Guardians?
I saw the second one, but I haven't seen the first one.
Oh, okay. What'd you think of the
So
first one?
Nothing.
Second
I haven't seen
Oh.
the first one, so I have nothing to
Oh,
compare it
gotcha.
to. I saw the second one.
Well, that's okay. That would
I
be
know that's
weird.
sad.
Yeah, that's okay. I learned something about Jay today that we'll talk about later.
She
But
tells me this as we're sitting in the movie theater.
Ah!
Well, I haven't seen the first one. Well, what the fuck are we doing here for the second one? I own those movies. And
I know.
I don't think you need to. I mean, obviously
You don't have
The
to.
jokes
first
still
one-
work.
Yeah,
First one,
the
then
first
the second
one does lead into the second one. They do pair pretty well, but
But they
To-
can stand on their own.
yeah, to
Okay,
enjoy
for
it, you
sure.
don't need to.
But
Yeah.
man, I was laughing so hard.
Is the first one as comical as the
Oh,
second?
yeah.
Oh, it's even funnier, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
I don't
But-
think
I'm looking
Pratt
forward
played
to
as
seeing it
much
then.
of a role in this one as he was in the first
Well,
one.
and
Well,
that-
they concentrated on
that's-
Rocket and Batista a lot.
Yeah, that's
Agreed.
They kind of spread everybody out a little bit more evenly than just focusing on one character, which is what I
Batista, oh my
like.
gosh.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, he's funny.
I think one of my favorite parts for him was when he killed the monster from the inside.
I know, just whacking away at it.
And he's just like,
Oh. Yeah,
they're
Which is funny, you see it in
they're
the trailer, like, what's he doing?
The skin would be just as hard from the inside as it would be from the outside.
Yeah.
And then it blows up and he's like, I have done it.
Of course he does.
You know, and I love how they all just like let him have it.
Of course. No, there's no sense arguing with him.
That was great.
His characterization, I'll be honest, we said this about Guardians. I've never read the comics of the Guardians. And so this is the first one, for me. And seeing that's got to be difficult for Batista to stick with that literal delivery. I mean, it's a whole shtick. Like, you can't, it's kind of like Brent Spiner in Next Generation saying can't instead of cannot. Like, it's something you have to stick with and do it the whole time. Otherwise, if you make a mistake, somebody's going to notice it. And in both these films, I did not notice him break character at all. It was always steady and it was always the same.
Well, with him, it's a little bit of a Laurel and Hardy type.
Yeah.
He's kind of the dumbass, Laurel, where who's on first.
Well, you're
who's
talking
on
about
second.
Abbott and Costello.
Well,
Yeah, he's
Right.
Abbott.
It doesn't matter, but he has to remain constantly straight faced and not laugh and make those little jokes. And keep
But the
up.
timing of each of his jokes, the little pauses here or there, like, you're beautiful.
On
From the
It's on the inside,
Or
yeah.
on the inside.
Or
That little pause that
He's
I was just
on
like,
the
that was
outside,
beautifully
you're
done.
hidden.
when he's trying to cheer up Pratt. He's like, there's dancers and there's non-dancers. You just need to find somebody as pathetic as you. Do you need a hug?
But how he keeps that tone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't really.
Oh my gosh.
But not only does he say she's ugly, the poor Mantis, the poor girl, he continues. He's like, I was thinking about sleeping with, it's all like gags and shit.
He's like, oh.
That's awful.
Just the
He's
thought
dry
of being
heaving.
intimate with you. Oh.
I'm pretty sure Max feels that way. Anyway, I just wanted to mention, and of course, Marvel has been stellar at this. The fourth time now they've done this, where they took somebody in their 60s and made them 20 again.
Yeah.
I was
His
thinking that
hair.
too. I was like, he looks so young.
His hair was fabulous. Like
Yeah.
it didn't even look like that when he was that age.
Talking about Kurt Russell, right?
Yeah, and Kurt
Okay.
Russell. The opening, or not the second scene with his mom. Well, see, that was interesting. I know that character is in the comics, and the Celestials, I guess, are kind of gods. I didn't know that much about them. But that seemed, I don't know. I guess it explains the end of the first one with the whole Infinity Stone. But I don't know. It seemed really odd. I don't know. I don't know if it was Russell or something else that kind of kept throwing me out of it. I was watching Rooker the whole time. I think it's his movie. Michael Rooker. It's more about him than it is about the Guardians. Of course, he technically becomes a Guardian. But his story arc, which is the only one so far to go to completion, kind of like Han Solo, it's like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. He dies, by the way.
Yes.
But he dies in a pretty impressive way. And I'll tell you, I'm already thinking about buying one of those T-shirts that says, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. That was hilarious in that one.
Well, I mean, you go back to his story. It's they outcast him right at the beginning, and then he was a part of something more than everybody understood it. The one person I was kind of disappointed was Sylvester Stallone.
I get the impression they're going to bring them in the next one.
I'll agree. I think they played him just enough to let you know that he'll be back.
It was Michelle
I
Yeoh
thought it was
because they let
and Ving Rhames, and
Right.
Yeah.
so they're coming back in the next one.
I mean, yeah.
I thought that was really awesome. Like when Stallone showed up, I was like, what?
You're kicked out, yo.
That's cool.
Well, anything else on Guardians 2?
We know there's gonna be a third.
Well,
We
yeah,
hope
I'm
there's gonna be
cash
a third,
cow.
Well,
My-
the ending is like,
My wife is pissed that they changed Tower of Terror into Guardians Escape. Have you seen it yet?
Seen what?
Tower of Terror is so old though.
Well, Tower of
They need
Terror, the
something
original in
new.
Disneyland, or Disney World, they're
Everything
keeping.
spins around to Disneyland.
Now, this is relevant though, because Disney owns this property.
Yeah, but how long has the Tower of Terror been there? I mean, they need something.
It is an older ride, and it's still the same ride,
right,
which is cool.
Never been.
Never been. Well, it's very, literally Twilight Zone. It's very Art Deco. It's very creepy, kind of like the Haunted Mansion, but not as gothic, I guess. But now it's basically the collector's museum, is what it is, from the first movie, and it just completely changed the whole front of it. And I've been avoiding looking at the videos for the ride because I kind of want to be surprised when I go. But yeah,
So, since we're tailing off with the Guardians of the Galaxy, I love the very ending. If you noticed, it kind of had that look like Thor: The Next Ragnarok.
oh, don't even
Colorings.
start on that.
And if you paid attention, you could see what's his name. The scene where Thor comes out and sees Hulk.
Oh yeah, I
Okay,
work
who's
with him.
Who's that? Jeff.
Jeff
what's-
Goldblum.
He's in the ending credits. He's one of the little pictures that's dancing.
Oh really?
Yes, he is.
I caught that.
He's
Oh.
there. So the end of Guardians does lead into Ragnarok.
Oh yeah.
And I was explaining to her that Ragnarok is basically in Civil War. There were two characters missing.
Mm-hmm.
It was Thor and it was
And
Hulk.
Hulk,
That's
yeah.
because this was supposed to be happening at the same time that was happening. And
Do you think they're going to be able to do the Planet Hulk justice? I mean, they're kind of touching on the edge of Planet Hulk.
I would like a good Hulk something because others have been decent, but never a solid character. It's always somebody new.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them, and I think that they finally might get it right this time around. Might. But I don't care. Right now, I'm just thinking about Ragnarok. That's going to be awesome.
I'll admit that's the best trailer I've seen this year.
Yeah,
Thor Ragnarok.
hands-
Absolutely. I mean, you throw some Led Zeppelin in there, I'm in.
And you know, and I didn't know this about Led Zeppelin. That song that they're playing
Yeah.
references a lot of stuff
Yeah.
in Ragnarok. And somebody pointed that out to me. I go, what? And we listened to it, and I was like, oh, you're right.
Listen to Ramblin'. It's all about the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It's they were big nerds.
Yeah, but you don't realize that until you're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. You start hearing it in these things. You're watching Thor's commercial, but they're playing that song and everything in that
This is
song.
the type of guys that watch Wizard of Oz while listening to Pink Floyd.
Never done it, but my cousin has,
Yeah.
and he says
Hey.
it's very weird
Yeah.
that it does match the movie.
The day my work lets me do weed. Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing that shit. So okay, well we've pretty much covered Guardians. It was I'd say give it a how many shots out of 5?
I'd take the whole bottle.
Take the whole bottle. Anybody else?
I think I drank a whole bottle before I watched the movie too.
Think we give it an A.
Oh, yeah.
If the first one's an A plus, this one's an A.
Yeah.
I'd say. All right, good. So now moving on to the next subject.
We're gonna talk about the commercials, the build-up.
Let's go ahead and watch the trailer. And
What were we talking about?
for Alien, we're moving on to Alien. Now this is Alien Covenant.
Speaking of trailers, was it just me or did the trailers not end?
It did
Dude,
not
I told
end.
you.
Like,
No.
It was so
usually
long.
like there's
What did I
like 3
say?
or 4. There was like 15.
Hold
Yeah.
on. It was so long. I had to ask her what movie we were in
He
watching.
did. He goes, what movie? Were we
I forgot what
watching
movie we
again?"
were here
There
for.
was a lot of previews.
It actually kind of I told you that when it's like you guys are like, let's go to the theater and get a seat. I'm like, dude, there's gonna be 20 minutes.
For
of
the record, this is exactly what women are like. Oh no.
Whoa.
Oh no, you are gonna die. I'm gonna watch.
I was like, wow, she's gonna stab you here in a second.
See? Sorry, lady.
Ooh,
Oh, God.
turn that down a little bit. Now, Jay, you said you saw Prometheus, didn't you? But Trina, you haven't seen Prometheus. Did everything make sense? I mean, how? Yeah.
I guess.
In a nutshell, the very beginning, Prometheus is David and goes
Elizabeth.
off into space on Prometheus, the ship.
No, Prometheus gets destroyed. They leave in the alien ship,
Yeah.
in the builder's ship.
They go off from Earth in the
Oh,
Prometheus
okay, sorry.
ship.
My
Pretty sure
mistake.
I was right. So they go off on this mission with that Dr. Edith or Elizabeth, whatever.
Something, yeah.
Shaw.
And
Shaw.
David and
Yeah,
everybody. Yeah.
Elizabeth Shaw.
And a whole crew. Well, on Prometheus at the end, you find out that David and the creator, the guy that created him, is on the ship because he's looking for God or whatever. So
Where he-
Played by Guy Pearce. What's his name? The actor's name.
I don't know.
It has been a while.
So anyway, that's the tie-in.
Well, he was in this one. He was in the
So
opening
they
scene of
were
this one.
on The ship Prometheus.
Right.
Prometheus
And I
got
it that
destroyed by.
He experimented on Elizabeth Shaw.
Yeah.
David, he basically killed her.
Yeah.
I noticed they mimicked a lot of the Geiger artwork, but go ahead.
Yeah, so they escaped the
Yeah.
world that they were on, and
She knows that.
Japan.
feeling when she showers with
you've
me.
got.
Never
It's
showered
small and
with
pointy.
you.
Yeah, I bet.
Just pointy.
Ow, what are you poking me with? Sorry, go
I
ahead.
never showered with you. Wow, that's
I've
just,
never
that is a declaration if I've ever. heard.
Damn, dude.
Something creepy coming out.
I've never seen you naked.
Motherfucker, I have never showered with you.
Never seen
That's
him
really what she
naked.
said.
All right, that's it. Strip.
Oh, so my favorite part of that movie is realizing that was
What made me?
Now his name suddenly escapes me.
hold on, you're gonna kill me because I know the name. God, brother.
Oh, fuck it.
What's
I had
really
it.
sad was that
You-
he was not in the movie.
Well, no.
I know.
So you know the joke
Oh,
for
yeah.
Danny.
They couldn't have picked like some nameless person to be her husband. Like, why couldn't he be in the movie?
You know that Danny McBride's
Oh.
going, no, this motherfucker's dying right out the gate.
disappointed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know that they had to. Oh no, you're fine, Franco.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
that's right.
You're gonna burn to death, and then it's my movie.
I know. I
was
saw that. I was
super
sad.
Because when he's in the thing, I'm like, that kind of looks like Franco. There was no way in hell I thought that was Franco for the record.
Now he looks like a McRib.
And then he gets smoked, and then later you're like, oh, that was Franco. And then all the jokes in my head started rolling because Danny McBride, they're
Yeah.
all very close,
Yeah.
those two.
And Seth Rogen, all those
The
guys.
whole
Yeah.
crew, yeah.
I was very disappointed.
But
I really wanted him to
honestly-
be in
Did
the
he
movie.
get credit in the movie?
I'm sure he
Because a lot
did.
of these, but a lot of these actors say, no credit me, but I just want a small little scene in it.
That's true. I didn't look. I was looking to see who the voice of Mother was. I could have sworn it was Sigourney Weaver. And it wasn't.
Oh,
It was
you-
somebody else. It was.
oh.
I didn't recognize the
Oh,
name.
You know what?
It didn't sound
Yes,
like
It
did
sounded like
sound
her.
like her.
But and I was like, is that Sigourney? Because that would be
I
awesome.
didn't think it
Never
sounded
even
like
crossed my mind.
I-
her voice is very distinctive, and I would have.
And that's just it. It was almost that. And whoever I
would
feel,
have definitely thought that.
I kind of get the impression that whoever did do the voice, I'm sure it's somebody famous. I just didn't recognize her. Probably was kind of doing an impression of her. In that kind of. Have you ever watched Finding Dory? Sigourney does the voiceover at the. This is Sigourney Weaver. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Which I'm like, if she'll do that for Dory, why won't she do that for Alien? But whatever. Well, that
would've been
kind
cool,
of
though.
that kind of where it starts in the whole sleeper ship. I'll say I learned something about Jay today that I'm very disappointed about.
And he's-
Oh, do tell, do
and-
tell.
And he's probably known this. Like
I
probably told him
but I was probably trash when you told me, and I don't really remember. But Jay has a bad habit of not watching certain films, as we
True.
talked about. We made him watch Dune. He got through all of it. We made him watch Highlander. Now next is Blade Runner. But we might do Aliens before that.
Whoa. What do you mean? Do Alien? You've never seen Alien?
Yeah.
I've never seen Aliens.
He's never seen
I've
Alien.
never seen any
Either
of that.
one.
So this leads
I've
me to my
never
next
seen
thing.
any of
Okay.
them either.
Prometheus is
You're a
First
girl.
one is amazing.
Prometheus in the line of all these movies is number.
One.
This one is number.
Dose.
Yes.
So my question to you
First one.
would be, which
The first
order,
scene,
like in
one,
Star
first one.
Wars,
Isn't that with
would
Sigourney
you
Weaver?
Yes.
recommend him
I've
going?
never seen
In the same order that I do with Star Wars, the originals,
Exactly.
and then I might watch the others if I was bored.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
You need to watch it.
Okay.
It is. Good.
But
Good
What?
movie.
Jay's never.
Alien.
You've never seen it?
The thing about
You need to watch it with her.
It might be the burger, but there is a sharp pain of disappointment.
I think it's a
in my
chest
heart.
buster,
He
dude.
does that
It's a
every
chest buster.
time, 'cause I haven't
Sharp
seen-
pain of
Well, he's
disappointment.
he's
You
an
need
old
to have-
man. So,
You need
you
to
know.
have a night. Turn all the lights
We don't have a
off.
defibrillator.
For the
Watch
record,
Alien.
I'm an old man, but these shocking revelations you guys are telling me hurts, and
Watch it in the dark.
you can. Oh, a lot of cholesterol in
It's
that
Really
guy.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Just asking for trouble.
Yeah, so go. I got a lot to talk about, but some of
I
it's
do
in the
too.
middle
So,
end
like,
of the movie.
For me, this was like nostalgic.
Like it made you.
Yeah, because like,
No, you want
you know,
scary?
you have like the original like aliens coming
Aliens
back
is the
and
original
like
scary
this is-
So it's very similar.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe it was
Like,
because I was younger,
the
but
same
yeah, that one
aliens,
was
and it was cool.
It seems to me that Ridley Scott
Space Marine.
has fallen off the deep end somewhere.
Right.
And
'Cause
the fact that Ridley
he's
Scott was
trying.
the one that directed
He's
this, when I
trying.
saw that,
Yeah,
I
he's
was like,
trying. Well, but it can be done. Look
He
at
did the
Miller.
first
Miller
one.
did the new
Oh,
Mad
he
Max.
did?
It was stellar.
Phenomenal.
And so it can be done, but not
This
to
one was
crit.
better than Prometheus.
I don't know. I like Prometheus a little better.
See, I didn't.
Yeah. Although
The only reason why I was interested in this is because I like Prometheus.
I did like
You
Prometheus.
like Prometheus too?
Yeah.
I think-
Okay, hold on. Now I watched it sober. What did you guys do when you watched it?
I've watched it both. I have it, so I've watched it a couple times.
Just
Sober
as good
and-
both times.
Huh?
Just as good both times.
There was more holes. Like I watched it and went, "Oh, that's fucked up." If they just ended the way it should have ended on LV426, that would have made sense.
Well, because now I'm thinking I need to watch this.
Now she's laughing. She's like, "What the fuck is that?"
I'm thinking I
LV426.
need to watch
I'm
it.
thinking it's a ship.
I'm thinking I need
It's
to
a
watch
planet.
Prometheus with alcohol, like I did with Demolition Man, because I watched that
Mm.
sober and it was horrible.
I love
watched it drunk,
Demolition
and I was like, who is the greatest guy in the world?
Wesley Snipes.
How did I miss all this stuff when I was sober? Awesome movie.
I'll agree. Certain movies, my go-to movie when I am tanked, like I am just about to pass out on the couch, usually after we've been up till 4 a.m, is The Black Hole.
Yes.
Disney's The Black Hole,
That
man.
is
I don't care about the strings.
hold
I don't
on.
care about the bad effects.
I've never seen it.
okay.
Okay,
carry
that
on.
one I understand. That one's kind of a off to left field a little bit.
Okay, see.
But okay, back to you, fool.
All right. So Prometheus.
Yeah, you're on a tangent here.
All right. So Prometheus, I watched it. It was on TV one day, and I was like, all right. The only reason why I watched it is because I heard about all this hype about all the religious jealots about like
Zealots.
it's- Yeah, whatever. they're jealous and zealous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. It's a new word.
Way to cover yourself.
You know, they went on like you can't prove God, you know, da da da. And I was like, all right, well, this movie made a lot of people angry. Why not watch it? Now
I love
was
me some
waiting-
good blasphemy.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Nothing.
Don't understand what their deal was or issue was. Maybe a little bit, but not too much. And I'm like, all right. And at the end, it was like, yep, pretty standard.
Okay.
This one, however, bored the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
The Alien Covenant.
The
Okay.
Covenant, very predictable and bored the shit out of me.
Sounds like you have something to say.
Well, I was just gonna say that I could tell that they had some biblical references in this one.
Yeah.
King David,
Yep.
the statue. And then he was-
The story I can't pronounce it. They about the King of Kings when he was quoting that stuff. That's another iconography. You're right. They did do that, and I feel though the faith guy was kind of forced in there though. I guess it kind of felt weird.
Yeah.
First off, this is the worst group of incompetent fucks that you would send into space. Holy shit, was anybody good at their job? McBride was the only one good at his fucking job.
Maybe he wasn't
I'm
that
assuming Air Force trained. All right.
Look,
I
look,
saw
Marine.
Crossfires twice for shooting an alien. Okay, here's Air Force. You walk in, your friend's head's floating in the water, and all he does is go, who are you? I'm thinking to
That's
myself, at that point, I turn and burn, and I'm whipping the clip pretty, a mag out real fast, because obviously we got some issues here. It was just, I was telling her, I go, you walk in, and literally there's a bloody body, an alien, and a head floating there.
Yeah.
He does not lose his shit once. And this is the guy who panicked on the ship or didn't like the people. I don't know.
Okay, let's we're kind of out of chronology here. Let's
But I had to say it.
let's go ahead and start at the beginning. First off, they start pretty much the same way Prometheus does, and a little bit like Alien does.
Yeah.
They used the same music that they did in Alien, so I got excited because I love, as slow as it is, the intro to the original Alien film is beautiful. It's amazing. The shots that are done, the reflections in the helmets, the crazy doors opening and things turning on and breathe. It's just crazy how awesome it is. And they kind of tried and failed in this one to recreate that. And this being said, I will preface this by saying I felt like this was the bastard child of Alien, and Aliens just didn't work. Because they tried to take the surreal horror movie type thing from Alien and then combine it with the action of Aliens, which are two very different movies, in my opinion. And it just, again, it just didn't work. So when the accident happens, okay, the solar flare or whatever the hell it was that happens and destroys their little ship, and they bring the crew out. First off, it felt like they referenced the passengers a lot, but they didn't really. Nobody cared if they lived or not. Only one person pointed out to McBride halfway through and said, "No, you can't kill them." Oh, right, I forgot there was colony people on this, because the original Alien was like 10 space truckers. That was it. They had ore, like they were ore hauler, and the next one were soldiers. So it was a very different thing. Plus, is it just me, or did those frozen things look like the doors in Monsters Inc. that are swinging?
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
yeah, they look like the doors in Monsters Inc. But anyway, so what I really want to know, though, when Franco died, what in that pod? What in a freezing cryogenic pod? I know there's chemicals and there's a lot of stuff, but why would it burst into flame?
Pure oxygen was probably being pumped into it to get them to revive themselves.
And then a spark.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe he had a match. Maybe he was dead.
Maybe he was lighting up. We know Franco's a pothead, so maybe now there's an outtake for you. He's like, "This is the flame's coming. Hang on, light it up." So I could totally see Franco doing something like that. It'd be hilarious. I was actually kind of hoping there would be more. Remember in the first one when Pierce was dressed as the old guy, and we're like, "Why did they hire guy to be an old guy? Why didn't they just hire an old guy?" But then you find out there was a bunch of scenes that were cut out of him younger. And part of the marketing was him younger. They kind of did that with this. Couldn't they do more cut scenes with Franco? Like they could have kept him in the movie in a way. Yeah, that kind of threw me off. So anyway, it kind of plays similar to the first one in that they happen upon this planet. Now, space is big. The fact that they happened upon this planet and happened upon that signal by accident, a little ridiculous. In the first movie, it's the company that knows something's out there, which these prequels do kind of explain why the company knows something's out there. And they're the ones who tell the ship to wake up and tell them to go down to the planet and find out whatever it is, and that's where the shit ensues. And that's, again, this is kind of ties into the whole robot thing, like the robot in the first one, who played by Ian Holm, who was just fucking outstanding. And I'll say this about Fassbender. He's okay.
Yeah.
I like him. I liked him in the first one. I liked him in the second one. Go ahead.
I did notice. Have you guys seen what is the movie he's in where he plays the assassin, the Assassin's Creed?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay,
I don't play
well,
the game, so
actually, it's a good movie, and he wears the same exact hoodie between the two, same shape, same style. That's in the Assassin's Creed. It's got the exact same look.
I saw a lot of derivatives in this, actually, a few things that occurred. Pardon me. But so anyway, they go down to the planet. They find wheat, and of course they mention it. But I'd have been like, back to the ship. This is fucking weird. I mean, how many mistakes are these guys gonna make?
Well, when they did that, she's like, "Well, who planted that?" And I'm like, "Well, who plants wheat in Kansas back in okay, man, but it was there first. Like, who planted it? Like, what a dumbass question."
Well,
Who
obviously
planted it?
somebody has been here.
Well, yeah. And they between the signal, I'll tell you, the John Denver joke was fucking funny.
Yeah,
I'm never joke about John Denver.
that was fun.
Because the whole thing is prefaced in that, or the whole thing is predicated. Well, they find a signal. Danny McBride hears a signal, and they find out later it's Country Road from John Denver. It wasn't John singing; it was somebody singing his song, and it turns out, of course, to be Elizabeth or whatever her name was, Shaw
Prometheus.
from Prometheus. And Now, again, I don't want to jump forward too much because that's stuff with her was horrific. But it just seemed like so many, like, can the alien figure out what it is? I felt like finding out that David manufactured them. The cool thing for me about the aliens is that they're a perfect evolutionary creature. They're nearly indestructible. You don't dare kill them because of the acid in the blood. That's the other thing that threw me. Like, they were shooting a bunch of them. Like, where's the acid? Where'd the acid come from? And then it finally shows up. But to know that David manipulated them into that kind of ruins the rest of it for me because it's not as impressive. Looks like you have a question.
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. She's probably just shocked, like,
taking
you
it
fuckers watch this stuff way too much.
Wow.
So, I'm teasing. So yeah, I just thought it was a comedy of errors that just didn't work. The whole thing. So, anybody else have, besides Jeff and I? Trina, anything?
Well, I have to say, if for anybody that has seen the original Alien movie, if you go into a dark room that's filled with giant eggs, don't go near them.
I'm gonna take you one step further.
Don't put your face above them.
Yeah,
If
look
you-
in the egg. Look in it. Look in
When
it.
opens, you're out. I'm out.
If you go into a room and there's this giant-faced plant that looks like something from Little Shop of Horrors, you do not go into it.
For the record, I wear a
that's what I
beekeeper's
thought.
hat when I crack my own eggs before I.
That guy pissed me off. That character, the whole
was
captain guy. Ugh.
If I see that, I'm like, that's it.
Again,
Like, why would you even want to?
right? No, I agree with you. I mean, we're talking about a guy who that was his reaction when he saw a floating head. Let's go down this dark tunnel.
Let's follow the
you-
homicidal
do you know what I mean?
android.
It just seemed like there was so much more they skipped over.
Yeah.
Just a whole area of.
And
The reaction wasn't there for me.
And a guy as timid as that would not just do what the homicidal android tells him to do.
Right.
Walk over and look over it and go, I wonder what that is. It's just the whole thing was just ridiculous. I was happy to see the face huggers though. The face huggers,
Yes.
the way they animated them were awesome. It was one thing when we first watched the original, you said you were like 8 or 9. I was probably 11 or 12. And I watched it. A buddy of mine, I was staying with my dad, and I made friends with some guy up the road, and he had it on VHS. Like, my parents would never give me that, although they didn't care what I watched on Showtime, apparently. But, yeah, late night, 12 o'clock, I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get shit done that week. So I go watch this movie, and I love it. It's an action movie, Aliens. You know, I didn't see the first one until years later. But you can watch Aliens by itself and not know any of the rest of it because it just works.
Right.
And I loved it. It was awesome. It was all like Commando and Predator and all those other things that those movies are great. That's why I can't believe you haven't seen it. But
You haven't
I've
seen,
seen-
Pred-
I've
you haven't
seen
seen
Predator.
Predator?
no, you haven't seen Aliens. That's what I'm
Alright.
talking about. I know you've seen Predator, fool. So anyway, but the thing that scared me the most in Aliens was the little face hugger running around on the floor. And the reason why it scared me is because that little.
Reminded you of a bass spider.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but the part that I didn't even tell you this part. The reason why that scares me to this day is because that fucker that I was staying over with that night had a little remote control car, and he put like a shirt or a hat or something over it, and after we watched the movie, and then ran it at me, and yells, "Watch out!" I'm like, "Mother!" You know, I didn't say that at the point. I probably squealed like a little girl. So that stuck in my head and those things. Now to see those guys running around all fast like that was scary as shit. And it reminded me of the great scene in the bedroom in Aliens where Sigourney Weaver and the kid. Yes.
I will admit, I'm glad Earl wasn't here.
Oh, Earl.
Without him, his antics that he likes to do during those movies.
Holy shit, don't go in there! No!
Oh my god.
We love you, Earl. We love watching that when he does that.
It's now got into who's sitting by Earl. when
Yeah.
he was doing it.
Can we talk about the juvenile joke that we laughed at?
Oh, the juvenile joke. Okay. Jay rarely gets embarrassed or notices when we do something funny. And we're sitting obviously in the theater. We're in the very back row. And it's me, Jay, Trina, and then you guys. I don't know which order you guys are in.
Me then.
Yeah, okay. But at any rate, there's the scene with the David and the
The recorder.
the recorder thing. The little flute. What was the other guy's name? William or something? The other android.
Yeah.
Something like that. And he's teaching him how to play this flute. And he says, "Okay, now put your lips on it, and I'll do the fingering." And instantly,
Me and him, we instantly just chuckle. We both just laugh.
we're all hee like this. And Jay goes, "Both of you?"
He looks over him and at me, and he's like, "Wow, both of you."
But the truly weird part is
But,
that
like,
no
we both
one,
laughed loud.
no one else in the theater laughed. Only the two of
Nobody
us.
laughed loud
I'm
enough
sorry.
for
I was
her.
trying to be an adult.
Whatever.
I did reference that it was there, and I'd like, no, Jeff, today's the day. You're a man. all right?
Yeah, today's the day.
Today's the day.
You're only like 50. Today's the day.
It's like, put your mouth here, and I'll do the fingering. Like, how could you not?
How could you not go to that?
However, nailed it when it comes to that whole thing.
That's
like,
true.
The,
They did-
like, the
without
way he
breaking
said
character,
It, like,
I wouldn't have been able to
mean,
do it.
how could you not laugh at that? Like,
That was damn funny. I
gosh.
well,
and then the kiss part, you're just like,
okay, now here's the
Yeah, that was gross.
He was just like.
okay. Back to the Austin
It
Powers
wasn't
reference.
gross, it was awkward.
If it's
It was
you,
just
is it
like-
masturbatory or is it gay? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
okay.
a good point.
Yeah.
It's just,
I
it was
could
just
see
awkward.
that it was
Like his face, he was just like.
What got me was I missed how he made him fold up because I turned to Jay and said, "Oh, well, we weren't so far off with the finger joke,
Yeah.
were we?" And so I turned back, and suddenly he's folded up like one of those droids from Star Wars. Like, how'd that happen?
Through his neck.
He put the windpipe through his neck.
Oh, I see. And he just folded up.
Went, and then he just collapsed.
It might have been in, like some off switch in his. He just assumed that one had it
He just
also.
Yeah.
collapsed. So he probably had something that.
Well, I figured that
if
part
that
out.
happened, he would be disabled.
Also,
So he assumed that the other guy was like.
That was the comment when he goes, "We've made some upgrades."
yeah, which was a great scene. That was like a Terminator scene. Like,
When
it, like
I saw it heal up, I was like, oh, he'll be back.
Yeah, that's. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
The same thing.
I thought that was really cool. What bugged me though is the Aussie audience, unless you're a complete moron, you know that's David
I knew
Yeah.
that was
who
David.
made it out of the fight.
Well, yeah.
We did. We kind of looked at each other.
Like,
and
really?
I
we
knew that was
knew.
David. It had to be.
I would have been more surprised had it not been David and something else happened, which is why they threw the alien in there. There's my next question. How the hell they knocked the other alien off with the crane and everything, which is that was a cool scene. Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
it was a little
that was
ridiculous,
cool.
her hanging off the
Yeah.
bottom of the
It was
spaceship.
Cool that they, with the claw.
The claw, that was cool.
When he exploded, that was cool.
Because that was very much an aliens reference too, with the machines. Like, that's the only thing to get rid of them.
I thought she was gonna. When she looked at his arm, when he came out,
Yeah.
he was helping.
I thought that she was.
I
thinking,
thought
like,
maybe he cut the wrong arm off, and she was gonna be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
That isn't
I thought
you,
she
but-
kind of figured it out too when they were
but-
talking. Yeah.
yeah."
That would make sense because he made that mistake about the quote. He said the other android said who
Cabin.
wrote that. He gave the wrong name. He's like, no. Then when he I don't remember what book he was quoting.
Oh.
And he said who wrote that, and he said Byron. Is like, no, it was this person. And then he says to him, if there's one thing wrong, the rest of you's wrong too, which I thought was great. That part of it was all great. I hope that they bring the other android back again. I'm gonna feel stupid for not knowing his name. Is it Wilson or something?
No.
It can't be Wilson. That's the ball
That
from
was William.
I thought it
William.
Huh?
No, it wasn't William.
I forget.
I thought it started with an E. I don't know.
No.
I think it started
Anyways,
with a
you
W.
were saying.
It was a W that it started with.
Either way, I hope they bring him back. I was actually kind of hoping he would show up again, like somehow he got on. Then that leads me to my previous question. They knocked the alien off. How did that other alien get in there? When did that happen?
The Mexican guy. And
Yeah.
his face.
Okay.
It was even temporary. I'm sure it got seated.
Yeah, okay. Ew, that's gross. That's
Yeah.
nasty.
Which also was predictable because once he had the face thing and
Yeah, so
It
he
was
was
ei- it was
on
either
his face
that-
long enough to do something.
yeah, it was either
Yeah,
that,
that's true.
It was either that or when they were in the ship and David or whatever knocked him out
Mm-hmm.
and then replaced his bandage.
Yeah.
So it had to be one of the two.
And the whole spitting up the alien embryos. What the fuck? That was kind of weird. And playing, where were they playing that? Wagner?
Yes.
Yeah.
The entry of
Enter the Gods or something like that, which I thought was creepy. That part was creepy. Which I always thought that David was creepy in the first one in Prometheus when he was just. Apparently, androids' hair grow. I guess their hair grows.
That was
That was
another
a
thing.
question
I
I
thought
Like,
that
had
was
too.
weird too.
yeah.
But what don't we see him in Prometheus cutting his hair? I think
don't
he's.
recall.
I have to watch it
You
again.
know why I don't recall? This I definitely recall. Like, I've never. Why is he cut? Because it never came up in any of the other movies as far as I know. I'm like, why is he cutting his hair? Because if it would have come up in Prometheus, I wouldn't have been so surprised.
Well, then Prometheus, if he was cutting his hair, it was before we knew he was an android.
Maybe
It was
I don't
that scene
recall.
where he's in the ship by himself.
It makes sense though if he has organic material, over his metal, like that his hair could grow.
Well, then if it's
Then
if
he
it's
would
that,
age.
if it Terminator taught us anything, that means he's a cyborg, which is what he is. That's a good point. That's yeah. But why did he have to do it all Buffalo Bill style? Like snip, I'd fuck me.
And you're
You know,
telling
he's
me-
fucking.
But then he, like, looks at
He
his
looks
hair
at
and
it.
he's
I was expecting him to stand up and tuck his dick back. I wasn't. I
and
don't know
you're-
what
and
the hell
you're
he was
telling me
doing.
With those big ass scissors, he got that hair just down to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Where those? He must have made those scissors. I don't know. Where'd they get those scissors from? Because the builders are all bald.
Yeah.
You must have made them. Like, where'd you get shears? Where'd that come from? I will now. That kind of leads us to the point where we all figure out that he's a bad guy. We kind of knew it beforehand, but that was grotesque. That part made it horror for me when he had the autopsies and all the ones. And it rang in my head again. I'm like, well, what about the acid blood? Now it makes sense because you couldn't autopsy those things if they had acid for blood. So, but having all the heads around, and when he found the Shaw, what the hell was that? Like, he had her kind of like hybrided into a organic machine of some kind. Fuck, that was scary. And then when he said to what's her name, the other gal, I'm gonna do the same thing to you, I was like, so that part scared me. I puckered a little bit at that one. But yeah, but now that I'm talking about it, actually, I can see a lot of more things about it that I did enjoy. But overall, not so much. Of all the Alien films, and that includes 3 and Resurrection, this one's the bottom for me. I really did not like it. I even like Prometheus better than it. I'll own it because I'm a dork, but I didn't. I was underwhelmed.
I was just bored. That's it. I mean, simple.
Especially for the first like 50 minutes.
And then the next 45.
The very beginning was very slow.
Because the first one is a slow burn, but it gets to it faster
Yeah.
than this did. Hey, what about you guys? What grade do we give it?
Oh,
I'd say C plus tops.
I'm like D-.
Yeah,
I'll give it in the C's.
C's. Yeah, all in agreement here. All right, so that's our review. You got more?
I was just say wait for it to come on basic TV.
Oh, would I recommend someone going to the theaters and watching it? No, there was nothing.
Or Redbox.
Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing spectacular like Star Wars or something like that.
We should have gone to Baywatch. That's all I know.
You know, I
No.
agree. I think
Yeah.
we should have gone to Baywatch.
I've heard it is dropping like a rock.
Oh my god.
Well, Baywatch is one of those to where if you watch like 4 or 5 trailers, you've watched all the funny
Probably.
moments.
Well, now I'll defend that a little bit because I thought that when I went to get Guardians, I was like, oh, the funny jokes are going to be in the trailer. But there were another like
There's
half a dozen
lot.
great jokes that weren't in the trailer, even though the best one was. I kind of wish they hadn't put the button one in the trailer.
Yeah, but with Guardians, they only made 1 or 2 trailers. With
Yeah.
Baywatch, I've seen like 5 trailers.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I've seen the movie.
I don't know.
The button was like one of my favorite parts.
Zac Efron's abs make me feel bad about myself.
A little bit off topic from. You're not interested in the new that Mummy movie coming out?
Oh, we watched that extended
Oh my
trailer
God.
today. Yeah,
I want to see that.
that
my
looks
God.
so bad.
Does
Okay,
it?
so
Think
we saw that
Ugh,
trailer
it's awful.
when we went to go see Guardians.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, I was like, they can't redo Brendan Fraser and the Mummy. I literally said that. Like, they can't redo that. That's
It's
the
a completely
cheesiness.
different mummy.
I
But it's
agree. It is
not.
different. It's
It's
close.
It is too.
It's not. They used the same scary tactics. The face in the sand.
That's
the
true. They
same-
repeated that one.
they-
That's
they
true.
repeat a lot of the same stuff Brendan Fraser went through. And I'm like, it's the same damn movie running
it's
through the
not.
city.
I recently rewatched
Yeah.
the Brendan Fraser ones. I bought them. I finally got the box set on Blu-ray, and those are fun.
They are.
They're a lot
Not
of fun.
comedy.
They are.
And
They're not scary.
What were you? Sorry, I was like, "What are you doing? Moving your boob around?" Sorry, I just happened to look over. It was my bad.
She was.
I was like, "This is a different kind of show, kids. It's gonna get interesting." But no, I love the Brendan Fraser ones. I even like the Scorpion King, the little offshoot. I like those movies a lot. The Mummy. I love the original Mummy. The original from what is it, 30 something? Late 30s, early 40s. It's amazing.
I've got to cut in. When you watched Tom Cruise and that little special thing they did about the Mummy, oh, I was so inspired by the original Mummy. What?
How?
I'm like, really? Yeah, it sparked my imagination. The original Mummy. I'm like,
Oh,
really?
that's a publicist line right there.
Oh,
He's
I'm
like,
like-
say this to the camera, Tom.
Yeah. I'm like, all right.
He's like, was
Well,
there
that's-
another movie before this called
I'm
The
like-
Mummy? Yeah, there
I'm
were like
like-
5.
I like Brendan Fraser too, but he's never inspired me to do anything. You don't see me going to a biodome or some shit like that. You know, whatever.
Biodome. Pretty sure that was on Pauly Shore.
Yeah, I don't think it's in Bio.
He
I
wasn't
think
in
it's
no.
Encino Man or
Oh, right, he was in Encino Man, and he had that bit in the army now.
Oh,
He showed up. Oh, tastes like chicken. Just walks out. Tastes like frog. But yeah, there's another one, Encino Man. It's amazing. But yeah, I do like the Brendan Fraser mummies. I do love the original film, which I think is just outstanding, even by today's standards. But this looks like a complete shit.
It is.
I just, it's just Tom Cruise jerking himself off again. I just,
Say hi to Amber.
what?
Say hi to
Oh, she's the only one watching us.
Yay! We have a viewer.
Hi.
We had one, and then it went away, and then we had one. and then
Yeah,
it
we
went
suck.
away.
That's okay. I only do this so I could just post it and not have to edit it and put it on later. So, but we're gonna shut it off here in a second because we pretty much covered our. We beat Guardians to death and Alien. Apparently, Alien beat us to death. Apparently, although that was the first thing I thought of in the field when the aliens kept coming at him out of the wheat. I actually said to myself in my head, they did it better in Jurassic Park 2. And then I said to myself, I can't believe I just said they did it better in Jurassic Park
You know what's
2.
funny you said that because they did the exact low camera.
Yep.
You could I exactly thought, oh, that's from
The Raptors,
Yep.
yeah.
That's exactly what that was.
Can't believe that was better. Although, having played a couple of the Aliens games and having played as the alien, it was interesting to see how they saw the
Their
radar
vision.
kind of sense that they had, because I always kind of assumed they were like dolphins even when I was a kid, that they had kind of this sonar kind of thing going on, because they obviously don't have any eyes anywhere. But
She's just reading the comments.
watching you from the couch, thanks, babe, I appreciate it. That's awesome. Thanks. Like
You're just like 3 feet from.
I know I could.
You could actually sit in the corner and watch us live. Not even
I figured the dog's
This is about
probably-
us texting. Can you bring me some milk? From upstairs.
Yeah. Okay.
What movies coming up are you guys looking forward to?
Wonder Woman. Stoked for Wonder Woman. I'm stoked to take my daughter to it.
We should do that
I'm hesitant.
off live
Who?
because I have a whole lot.
Okay,
of
then
comments
we're gonna go
about
ahead and cut it
all
off
these
for right
movies.
now. We'll continue recording. We'll just turn the cameras off, turn the lights off, and we'll get to, well, might get to something. So anyway, anybody who watches us now later, because nobody's watching us now. So good night, and Guardians A,
Yeah.
C minus. Let's give C minus for Alien Covenant.
No, D.
D minus
It's
D.
C
All right.
minus.
We'll give it a, yeah, somewhere. Maybe if you do a little extra credit, maybe you blow the teacher, we can bring it up to C.